we recently got to go to CinCity Con 2018 in Cincinnati, Ohio.
Yay.
Yay. Matt, we were looking for you.
Yeah.
We
got you in for free, Matt.
We had your way in.
Free.
Matt had a heavy night of drinking on Friday night, and when he woke up Saturday...
were you in a ditch?
No. But my stomach was not ready to go anywhere.
No, that's fair. So this is the third year of CinCity Con 2018. Personally, I think they should have changed the name, but whatever. Because I think there's like a reptile convention with the same name.
Yeah, there's something else.
Yeah, it's not original, but that's fine. So the first year, it was in the hotel across the street from this Clareton Convention Center. Is that what? Or Sherrilton? Sherrilton Convention Center. It was just in one room. It was one day. It was pretty fun.
Yeah, I think that was just hey, is there enough interest to do something up here?
Right. And it was pretty packed, I think.
Yeah, it was.
And then last year, Eric went up there. I did not go. And they had it in the basement of the convention center, but it was still pretty nice from what you said.
Oh, yeah.
This year, they had it on the main, I guess, room of the convention center, or one of them.
Level.
Yeah. And fantastic.
Yes, very, very nice convention center.
Yes. Like, Origins nice type of convention center.
It is a newer convention center, so everything is clean and new, and so
yeah, very like the design.
Open.
It's got a nice design to it. My phone, or one of our phones, loves to jump into the. I don't know if it's picking up on the podcast or if it's just through the headsets or mine or whatever. But yeah, like the convention center, really nice. This is, man, I really wish Lexicon had a convention center that was like this. I mean, it's not their fault that there's not a convention center for it, but this is a very nice, I mean, this could be the Cincinnati, Ohio Convention Center, but smaller. It's that nice. It's got a nice aesthetic, a nice design, modern, all the good stuff.
Yeah, connected to a hotel.
Yeah. So we played some games there, obviously.
Yeah, a few.
And if you're a fan of the show and you've been to Lexicon or CharCon, I assume, because we haven't been to that one, all three of these are under the same umbrella of convention owners or whatever. So it's very similar in size and style. I think they had, almost 700 people at this one?
Oh, I thought it was closer to 1,000. I could be wrong. What?
Didn't that one dude run around and say, guess the numbers? And it was like 698 or 668 or something?
That was also on Friday.
That's how many badges they had sold. That's true.
Yeah. They could have sold Saturday badges and some Sunday badges.
That's fair.
But yeah, at least 700 to maybe 1,000.
Yeah. So it's a decent convention in most regards.
Right. Small, but still a lot of people.
Yes. But it didn't feel crowded at all.
No.
Well, how did it feel on Saturday? I only went on Friday, I should say that.
It was pretty similar. Maybe a little bit more people on Saturday, but you wasn't crowded at it.
You could find a table.
You could find a table, right.
Yeah. Well, the games that we played on Friday, at least, we played Clank in Space, the physical version of it. I know we talked about playing Clank on Tabletop Simulator. We played Railroad Rivals.
Yeah.
Which will probably be the only time I've ever played it. It was a decent game. It's just not our style of game. Although it did have a really brutal bidding mechanism. First player got to do everything, but only first, like you bid, you're like, I'll bid 3 for first place. Matt, if you pass, you go to the last.
Oh, wow.
If you stayed in and said 4, then it's Eric's turn. If he passed, he goes last. And then it's my turn to bid 5 or whatever. So but if 2 of the 5 players have already passed and I passed, now I'm like 3rd from last. So it kind of goes up from there.
Right.
So it's like second place is amazing.
And you don't have to pay for it.
And it's free.
Right.
Yeah. So it was a pretty decent game.
I did like that aspect of it, but the other aspects of that game didn't appeal.
Yeah, everything else kind of fell flat for me.
Yeah.
It's a stock collecting game, but it's not really stocks.
There's too many stocks.
Too many stocks, too many stuff. So I don't know. It was okay. It was a fun thing to play once, but yeah. The next game we played was King of the Dice.
Yeah, Hobba game.
It's a little Hobba game. Matt, you might like this for your family too. You get a lot of Hobba games for them, right?
Yeah, I have.
It kind of reminds me of a small version of Fantasy or Fantasy or whatever it's called.
Right.
You basically have like a deck of guys that flip over. There's 5 locations. Each location has 3 cards. It's a 2, 3, and 4 point card. 2 is on top, 4 is on bottom. You flip over a card for each one, and then you roll your dice. The dice there's 6-sided dice.
Mhm.
Each one has 3 different colors. So 2 of the sides is red, 2 blue, 2 green. All the guys that are out in the middle basically say different variations on how to get them.
Yeah.
You need 2 red, 2 blue. You need 2 of
5.
one color, 3 of another.
Or 5 red, or you need
6 sixes.
sixes. Yeah.
5 sixes, I think. So anyway, when you win a character, they're worth a certain amount of victory points based on how hard they are, but you also get the next card of that town that they were in, and that's your turn. So super fast. And then at the end of your turn, you're basically going to pass, or you move all the guys 1 space to the right to fill up the hole, and you flip another guy out the first location, and you go until either all the guys have been depleted, which is not going to happen. If you don't get a card on your turn, you take a penalty card, which is interesting because there's penalties. I think there's -1 to -5, but they're shuffled in the deck, and then the deck's face up. So you can see the next card that you would get if you fail.
So you might, -5, you might try to go for something that's easy to get.
Right, on that turn. Whereas if it's a -1, you're like, yeah, I'll go after the 6 or 5 sixes, whatever.
Right.
And or if a one of the locations runs out of cards, that also ends the round.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Yeah, I didn't mind it actually. I probably will pick this up. It was light. It was a filler game, but for a dice rolling game, it was fine.
Yeah.
We played Endeavor, which we talked about, and we played Coimbra, which is interesting. It's a very fun game. I liked it a lot. One of us will probably buy that as soon as we see it, almost even at full price. Maybe not, but we just don't buy games at full price. You know what I'm saying? Like,
No, it was really good. One thing I would say is that they have these dice holders made really well. They hold the dice just snug enough.
yes, just snug enough. And what's cool is it's your color. So if you pick up a die and move it and it falls over, you know what side it was on because it's in this little thing and you put it back up.
Right.
It looks like a little fortress.
Yeah. Very fun game. The interesting thing about that was we had to be out of there by midnight. It does close at midnight.
We had to speed play it.
We speed played the last round or two like so fast. I mean, so fast. And then we packed the game up. We literally just dumped the game in the box and went next to the attached hotel. And there was like 15 tables.
Right.
Oh, we should have just started it while we were over here. So, Eric, how was the other 2 days?
Oh, awesome. Also got to play Don't Mess with Cthulhu, which is a deduction game.
Free to play or play to win?
Yes. Actually, Sean won this one, so we will probably end up playing it in the future.
Was it good?
Yeah, I recommend it, yeah.
Okay, then we'll
If
end
you
up
like
playing
deduction
this in the
games,
future.
yeah, it wasn't too bad. Decrypto, which I heard a lot of good things about. If you do like these different word games, I'm trying to think of other ones pretty similar to it. But yeah, if you like code names type of games,
Right.
Yeah, this is in your ballpark. Raiders of the North Sea, which is a worker placement game. It has a cool little mechanic that's a little bit different. You're basically putting down a worker, doing this action, and then going somewhere else and picking up a worker. You don't have your own workers. It's kind of like a pool of workers.
Right.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so you pick up a worker and do an action at that spot. Istanbul, the dice game, which I won as a play to win.
He also won Clank in Space.
And
So
Clank
now
in
we're gonna play
Space.
that.
Yeah.
Sweet.
And then Memoir. Have you guys played that one?
No.
No. Which it is a memory game, which I'm like, oh, memory game.
Right.
Don't like memory. But no, it was really good. On this, there's a grid. Each tile has a color, which is kind of like the landscape, and then it has a cute little animal, whether it be a penguin or a crab or an octopus. So basically, you are flipping over it. You flip over a card. Next guy, he has to flip over a card that has the same background or has the same animal. And once you do, you get it right. It goes on to the next player, and you're still in it. And then if you're out, you get a card that doesn't do anything for you. But the last person to stay in gets a treasure chest. So you keep on doing that We did play like the basic role, and that's basically the basic role. They have an advanced version. Depending on the animal that you flip over, you get like a special action. And I forgot a lot of them, like the crab, you have to take another turn. Octopus, it moves. I think like the penguin, you get to peek at another card. So yeah, I recommend it. It was a pretty light game. Looked nice. So pick that up if you like memory games, or maybe even if you don't, because I don't like memory games. But it was a good one.
Cool.
Yeah. Also, I played in some tournaments, which I usually do.
Are you the Ohio
pretty-
State champ of anything?
No.
Oh.
No, Sean is our friend Sean. He went as well. He is a champion of Ice Cool.
He won
So
the
that's
cool
cool.
trophy.
Yeah, they have a nice little trophy. You got a copy of the game. So I did play in a couple tournaments. I usually do all right at least, but for whatever reason, I did not do good on any of the tournaments I won in.
I wasn't there.
That's
I wasn't
why
there.
I didn't have my wingman.
Was there a Nevermore tournament?
There was. It started at like 10 a.m.
Oh.
I didn't make it to it.
That's fair.
So there was a Wordsy, a word game tournament. You put out like 5 cards, and you try to make a word out of those 5 cards. You don't have to use them all. And they go into different spots. You know, these 2 letters are going to give you 3 points if you use them. These 2 are going to give you 2, 1. Maybe there's a 4, because there's another spot. Anyway, so you are looking at the letters that are available for this round. You're trying to make a word. And it is kind of a speed play kind of thing, because the first person that comes up with a word puts it down. You also can use letters that are not in that tableau of letters, but you just get credit for which ones you do use.
Gotcha.
So the first person that gets a word flips over the timer. Everybody else gets like 30 seconds. You do that. So pretty simple game. Didn't do so well. Played Pyramid Poker, which I think we played in the past.
Yeah.
I
Well,
think
you
guys might
showed
like
me
it.
how to play it. I didn't actually play it.
Oh, okay. So in Pyramid Poker, you have all these cards. They're face down on these big chunky tiles. You're going to get 15 of them randomly, and then you're going to take turns making this pyramid. Your cards or your blocks are going to face you. You're going to put them in this pyramid, basically. And then you play one. You know, your opponent plays one. You can play it on top, you know, making a pyramid. And then once everybody's done, you take turns grabbing things off and making a 3, 5 card hands. And my, hand 1 is going after your hand 1. My hand 2 on your hand 2. And you're supposed to win 2 of the 3 hands to win the game. So it's strictly a 2-player game. Now, there was 10 people in this tournament, and they were giving out 8 of these games.
Oh, wow.
That's how good you
That's
did.
how good I did. I was one of the 2 kicked off.
Oh, no.
Yeah, didn't do so well, like I said.
Boo.
We did do Ice Cool. I did the Ice Cool tournament with Sean. I didn't make it to the final table. Sean did. Go, Sean. And then also played New York Slice, which is a I split. You take kind of game. You bring out a pizza pie, and you're splitting it.
This is like, I have an A list of games I want to pick up,
Mhm.
and then a B list of games, and this is always at the top of the B list.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I definitely wanted to play this tournament. Had a good chance. I came in second. We played like 3 games, and they did kind of a scoring. You know, if you won a game, you got 2 points, I think. If you got second place, you got 1 point.
Yeah.
If you got third place, no points for you. You win 3. You play 3 games. You know, the top contenders go off to the final table. So I just missed it. I was second on all my games.
Oh, boo.
Yeah.
Anything else, or is that all the games and stuff?
No, I'm sure I played more games. I just didn't think about writing them down as I was playing them, but
No, that's fair. Well, there's the library is big. It's the same library that's at all 3 of them, I believe.
At least 2.
At least 2 of them. At
Right.
least Lexicon has the same one.
Mm-hmm.
The interesting thing about this one, they had the back of the library had like this little tent set up, and you could play all the really expensive games that they won't let you take out of the library room.
Right,
Oh,
like Dark Tower and
Queen's Gambit.
Mm-hmm.
They had a couple. They had like 5 different games. I think that were really expensive games that they had in the library, but you just couldn't check them out. You just had to play them there. So that was pretty cool. Dark Tower's being reprinted by Restoration Games.
Mm-hmm.
If anybody,
I did
know.
ask someone that came out that played Dark Tower. I was like, "Oh, how was it?" And they were like, "It was all right."
Man, nostalgia for people who's played.
Right.
So yeah, it was interesting too because apparently they had a lot of copies of Kids on Bikes.
Yes.
It's a role playing game, like a book, like D&D kind of deal.
Right.
That's I guess basically Stranger Things.
Was that a newer game?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
John Gilmore was one of the designers. I don't know. There was another one. I can't remember the name.
I just remember the at Gen Con they had like the bike that kept spinning the wheel and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. It's a small little book. It's not very big. And I assume I've not seen Stranger Things, but basically your kids riding bikes, going around the town, experiencing adventures in a very, there's like supernatural stuff possibly that's going on.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, is that Stranger Things?
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty much that. So, it looks pretty cool. I was kind of flipping through the rule book and reading it. You know, it's got a character sheet and all that stuff. You play with normal polyhedral dice.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, other than that, I mean, I really like this convention. Like, I like Lexicon and everything that's going on. And this is like Lexicon 2.0.
Yeah.
Because
like
mostly because of the
1.5.
environment.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, the environment's like way better. The convention center is really nice. I really liked it. The food was amazing. As a matter of fact, there's excuse me, there's nowhere to walk to get food,
Mm-hmm.
but the convention center food was like surprising.
Yeah, it looked ordinary, but yeah, it didn't taste too bad.
Yeah,
Did they have vendors like they normally do?
they had a few. It's the same thing. The vendors are pretty much there.
Whatever. Right.
Yeah, it's not like Gen Con or any Origins.
Was the guy from Texas there?
No,
no.
Bob from Texas.
Bob from Texas,
No,
he wasn't there?
I did not see him.
trying to sell y'all as out of print games
Yeah.
that are
Kickstarter games
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
yeah. No, he was not there, but they had some decent booths, but
And then
I walked by them and then just went and sat down and played games.
right. And then do they do the party there also?
Yes, I did not
Did you
attend
go
the
to that, or-
party this year. Different years I will attend one of the parties, but this year I played more games and didn't do the other stuff.
Gotcha.
But it did sound really. We played right next to the party room on Saturday, and they did karaoke,
Oh, really?
and there was a lot of drinking going on, so it looked like a good time.
Oh, okay.
I'll skip it. I don't know. Alcohol and games don't mix to me. I feel like, do you want to have an entertaining time or play games?
You can do both.
I know. I'm done putting down games. You know what I'm saying? Like, do you want to party or do you want to play games?
Well,
Is
man,
really what
I
I
don't
meant.
want to drink and play a complex game.
Right.
So, I mean,
Yeah.
obviously, yeah.
Which they don't, but I don't know. That's not the reason I'm at a convention. For me personally, I'm not saying they shouldn't do it, but anyway, anything else? Is that it?
No, that's it.
All right, cool. That's CinCity Con 2018. Looking forward to next year.
Yes.